An Irish daughter had not been home for over 5 years. Upon her return, her father cursed her heavily. "Where have ye been all this time, child? Why did ye not write to us? Not even a line. Why didn't ye call? Can ye not understand what ye put your old mother through?" The girl, crying, replied, "Dad, I became a prostitute." "You what? Get out of here, you shameless harlot, sinner! You're a disgrace to this Catholic family." "Okay, Dad, as ye wish. I only came back to give Mum this luxurious fur coat, title deed to a 10-bedroom mansion, plus a 5 million savings certificate. For me, little brother, this gold Rolex. And for ye, Daddy, the sparkling new Mercedes limited edition convertible that's parked outside, plus a membership to the country club, and an invitation for ye all to spend New Year's Eve on board my new yacht in the Riviera." "What was it ye said ye had become?" asks her dad. The girl, crying, said, "A prostitute, Daddy." Her dad said, "Oh my goodness, you scared me half to death, girl. I thought you said a Protestant. Come here and give your old dad a hug." Carl is in the 10th year of a life sentence when he gets a new cellmate, Jim. After taking some time to size Jim up and decide that he can trust him, Carl tells Jim about his plan to escape. "You see," Carl says, "for the first 5 years I was inside, I trained my digestive system to follow my command. Now I can eat something and it comes out broken down into its components." Jim is skeptical but intrigued. Carl continues, "For the last 5 years, I've been swallowing pieces of my uniform. It's perfect, because the guards just think it's rats chewing on it." So Jim asks, "Well, what does that have to do with me? How can I help?" Carl says, "Well, the pieces of fabric come out as individual fibers. I figure by this time next year, we'll have enough to fashion enough rope to get over the wall. I just need you to tie the fibers." Jim, disgusted, says, "You have got to be kidding me." And Carl says, "I shit, you not." A man walks into a bar. The bartender asks, "Why the long face?" The man replies, "I just found out my wife is sleeping with another man. I've decided I'm going to drink myself to death." The bartender looks shocked and says, "I'm sorry, I can't help you kill yourself." The man asks, "Well, what would you do in my situation?" The bartender puffs himself up a bit and says, "If I found out a guy was sleeping with my wife, I wouldn't sit around feeling sorry for myself. I'd kill the guy." The man jumps up from his stool and shouts, "That's a great idea, thanks," and runs out of the bar. A couple of hours go by, and the bartender is starting to get nervous when the man walks back into the bar with a smile on his face. "Did you kill the guy?" the bartender asks nervously. The man replies, "Nope, I slept with your wife. Whiskey, please." A man is sitting in a cafe when suddenly someone he knows comes running to him in panic, shouting, "Quick, your wife is cheating on you with your best friend in the forest." The man runs out of the cafe, angry and furious to see for himself, and returns after a short while and sits back down in his chair. The people in the cafe and the guy who told him are confused and ask what happened. The man says, "This son of a bitch was just exaggerating. Firstly, it was just a couple of trees, he made it out like it was a forest. Secondly, best friend, he says. It turns out I don't even know the guy." An 18-year-old Italian girl tells her mom that she has missed her period for 2 months. Very worried, the mother goes to the drugstore and buys a pregnancy kit. The test result shows that the girl is pregnant, shouting, cursing, crying. The mother says, "Who was the pig that did this to you? I want to know." The girl picks up the phone and makes a call. Half an hour later, a Ferrari stops in front of their house. A mature and distinguished man with gray hair and impeccably dressed in an Armani suit steps out of the Ferrari and enters the house. He sits in the living room with the father, mother, and the girl and tells them, "Good morning. Your daughter has informed me of the problem. I can't marry her because of my personal family situation, but I'll take charge. I will pay all costs and provide for your daughter for the rest of her life. Additionally, if a girl is born, I will bequeath a Ferrari, a beach house, 2 retail stores, a townhouse, a beachfront villa, and a $2 million bank account. If a boy is born, my legacy will be a couple of factories and a $4 million bank account. If twins, they will receive a factory and $2 million each. However, if there is a miscarriage, what do you suggest I do?" At this point, the father, who had remained silent, places a hand firmly on the man's shoulder and tells him, "You fuck her again." An Englishman, a Scottish man, and an Irishman all walk into a pub with their wives. They all sit down and order a cup of tea. The Englishman looks to his wife and says, "Could you pass the honey, honey?" The Scottish man thinks to himself how clever that was, then turns to his wife and says, "Could you pass the sugar, sugar?" The Irishman, not wanting to be outwitted by the other two men, looks over at his wife and says, "Could you pass me the milk, you fucking cow?" A guy in a bar bets the bartender $50 that he can lick his eyeball. The bartender agrees. The man takes his glass eye out and bites it. The bartender angrily gives the man his money. The man bets the bartender $500 that he can bite his other eyeball too. The bartender agrees to the bet because the man was not blind. The man pulls out his dentures and lightly chomps them on his other eyeball. The bartender is fuming but gives the man his money. The man then orders a beer and walks away. The man walks back and bets the bartender $1,000 that he can piss directly into a shot glass while running, with 2 attempts. The bartender knows for a fact that this is impossible and agrees to the bet. On attempt 1, the man gets piss everywhere and none in the shot glass. The bartender smirks with high hopes. On attempt 2, the man once again pisses everywhere in the bar except for the glass. The bartender jumps up and down in excitement, knowing that he has won. Then, another man in the corner of the bar screams, "Fuck!" When the bartender asks what the problem is, the man says, "That asshole just bet me $10,000 that he could piss all over the bar, and that you would be happy." A man playing on a new golf course got confused as to what hole he was on. He saw a lady playing ahead of him, so he walked up to her and asked if she knew which hole he was playing. She replied, "I'm on the 7th hole, and you're a hole behind me, so you must be on the 6th hole." He thanked her and went back to his golf. On the back 9, the same thing happened, and he approached the lady again with the same request. She said, "I'm on the 14th. You are a hole behind me, so you must be on the 13th. Once again, he thanked her. He finished his round, went into the clubhouse, and saw the lady sitting at the end of the bar. He went up to her and said, "Let me buy you a drink to show my appreciation for your help." He started a conversation and asked her what kind of work she did. She said she was in sales, and he said he was in sales also. He asked what she sold. She replied, "If I told you, you would only laugh." "No, I wouldn't," he said. She said, "I sell tampons." With that, he fell on the floor laughing so hard. She said, "See, I knew you would laugh." "That's not what I'm laughing at," he replied. "I'm a toilet paper salesman, so I'm still 1 hole behind you." Christmas was coming, and little Johnny's mom and dad took him to the mall to see Santa Claus. Johnny walked up and sat on Santa's lap and said, "Santa, for Christmas I want a goddamn new baseball bat, and I want it to be put under my goddamn bed. I want a goddamn new baseball glove, and I want it put under the goddamn Christmas tree. And Santa, I want a goddamn new bike, and I want it put under a goddamn tarp in the goddamn shed." Santa, in complete shock, pulled little Johnny's parents aside and said, "In all my years, I have never seen a little boy with such a foul mouth." His parents replied, "We know, but we have no idea what to do about his behavior. We've tried everything." Santa thought about it and said, "Here's what we'll do to teach him a lesson. Every place that Johnny asked for a present, we'll put a pile of dog poop." The parents agreed to try Santa's plan. On Christmas morning, little Johnny woke up and immediately looked under his bed. Seeing the pile of poop, he ran downstairs to the Christmas tree and checked underneath. Finding another pile of poop under the tree, he ran out the door and threw open the shed door. Finding a tarp in the shed, he quickly pulled back the tarp and found yet another pile of poop. Johnny walked out of the shed and started looking all around the yard. After a while, his parents asked him sarcastically, "So, little Johnny, what did you get for Christmas?" Without missing a beat, Johnny looked at his parents and said, "I think I got a goddamn dog, but I can't find the motherfucker." Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful queen with large breasts. Sid, the dragon slayer, was obsessed over the queen for this reason. He knew that the penalty for his desire would be death should he try to touch them, but he had to try. One day, Sid revealed his secret desire to his colleague, Nathan the erudite lawyer, the king's chief advisor. Nathan thought about this and said that he could arrange for Sid to more than satisfy his desire, but it would cost him 1,000 gold coins to arrange it. Without pause, Sid readily agreed to the scheme. The next day, Nathan got a batch of itching powder and poured a little bit into the queen's bra while she bathed. Soon after she dressed, the itching commenced and grew intense. Upon being summoned to the royal chambers to address this incident, Nathan informed the king and queen that only a special saliva, if applied for 4 hours, would cure this type of itch, and Nathan advised that only the saliva of Sid would work as the antidote to cure the itch. The king, eager to help his queen, quickly summoned Sid to their chambers. Nathan then slipped Sid the antidote for the itching powder, which he put into his mouth, and for the next 4 hours, Sid worked passionately on the queen's large and magnificent breasts. The queen's itching was eventually relieved, and Sid left satisfied and hailed as a hero. Upon returning to his chamber, Sid found Nathan demanding his payment of 1,000 gold coins. With his obsession now satisfied, Sid couldn't have cared less, knowing that Nathan could never report this matter to the king, and with a laugh, told him to get lost. The next day, Nathan slipped a massive dose of the same itching powder into the king's underwear. The king immediately summoned Sid,